Please remain calm. Attack of the Franchise is about to begin.
Hi, this is Attack of the Franchise, and today we are talking about a beloved story as old as time.
Story about a penguin man
Yeah,
and a cat lady.
and a bat coming together to create just pure chaos, I think.
Pure anarchy, pure Tim Burton,
Yeah,
German expressionist weirdo,
yeah,
Christopher
a lot
Walken.
of that. But yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, we are going to talk about Batman Returns. And I am Lauren with my two co-hosts.
Andrew.
And Yvonne.
We're going to get into it now. Batman.
Gonna continue with the Batman franchise.
Returning.
Tim Burton almost didn't return because he didn't want to do a sequel.
From Batman, the one before, what is it called? It's just Batman,
It's just
right?
Batman.
Yeah, well, the first Batman. To this one, I'm glad he did come back, but I can see why he wouldn't. Cause,
He's not a sequel guy. This is the only sequel to a movie that he's made.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
it's an iconic one, I will say.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite Tim Burton movies. It's just him at his most unleashed with the highest budget he can get at the time.
I really liked this one. I think it was way better than the first one. I was very excited that he decided to come back and do the second one.
He only wanted to come back because they gave him almost complete creative freedom. And you can tell.
You can really, really tell just from the set design to the makeup. The
It feels like you're in
costumes.
a storybook about Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a good
From Tim
adaptation
Burton,
of
yeah.
a dark fairy tale
Yeah.
about Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Keaton didn't want to come back. He only came back because they gave him a huge paycheck.
Yeah.
I think $12 million.
He was like, give me what Jack
Give me that paper.
Nicholson was
Yeah.
getting.
I don't think I'd want to come back either if I'd have to be offered an obscene amount of money
Yeah.
to come
To
back.
get back in that horribly uncomfortable suit
Mm-hmm.
that you can't hear in, that you can't turn your neck.
Just going through that whole process again.
And having to deal with critics being like, this Batman's bad. Or I don't know. I don't know what the critics were back then.
I think they were mixed on Michael Keaton as Batman because, well, Batman doesn't develop much of a character in either of these first two Batman movies.
Yeah, he plays pretty.
He just plays as a lonely guy who wants to have sex with blonde girls.
Yeah.
And only blonde women.
Only blonde
Only
women.
blondes.
Tim Burton loves his blondes.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
ethereal
Do you think that's a
Dark blondes.
reflection of Tim Burton?
Tim Burton compensating.
Compensating for something?
Tim Burton doesn't handle women well in his movies.
I can tell.
Yeah.
But he had such a pretty average life. I mean, he did live next to like a cemetery, but
He was such like the most emo, feel sorry for me
yeah.
kid who was obsessed with his little monster movies.
And you know what, if Tim Burton, if you ever hear this is not an attack to you because we all three here have probably issues that we don't deal with either. So it's okay.
Yeah, but I don't make movies about guys with scissor hands.
Yeah, but I put on like literally Joker makeup and put it on the internet, so I have no means of talking. So that's enough for all of us, I guess. Here.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, I don't know, I really appreciate this one more than the first one because, like you said, he has more of a free reign, and you can
Yeah.
definitely tell. And there's more of a plot to this one too. So
Yeah, and more interesting characters, especially I think Catwoman is
Yeah.
done very well, even though she's nothing like the comic book version.
very
Yeah.
true.
Comic book version is mainly just a thief who has
Yeah.
like a love-hate relationship with Batman most of the time. Not a woman who was pushed out a window and was
And licked
saved,
alive.
licked alive by cats with a blood.
But even
Saliva.
before that, she was
Yeah.
like a very smart woman, hardworking woman,
Yeah, she was, like,
underappreciated.
A browbeaten woman of the 90s, just
Yeah.
like trying to make it on her own
Mhm.
Yeah.
until she's pushed out of a window by Christopher Walken.
Yeah. And then life turns, upside down.
I definitely liked her, I guess, like character development. It was although it was quick, I mean, I really appreciate it aesthetically because it's just really like satisfying to see like all the pink being spray painted. And
Yeah, it's very satisfying when
But
you
I-
see just like she's so depressed.
Yeah.
She's talking to herself. She is very lonely. She's
Yeah.
like talking
I was
to her
gonna
fake
say
husband.
too, like
Yeah.
the wardrobe, just everything in this movie is super well done. Like you could tell they took time, but like even her wardrobe, you could see like where she's like looks at first perfect, and then like as the day goes on, she gets all raggedy and like just a hot mess, and it looks so well on her. And
Yeah.
then even her like Catwoman suit is so
Iconic.
hot, but
Yeah, the transformation is so great. The Danny
Yeah.
Elfman score blaring as she listens to that message about having to get perfume to impress her boss, and she goes
Yeah.
wild. She deserved an Oscar just for
Yeah.
that scene.
it's a masterpiece.
I also think just like what really made this movie work was the actors, you know, like the cast itself.
Everybody's
like, you had
really
a really good
good
cast.
in the movie. Danny DeVito is the most over-the-top performance, like
Yes.
a Shakespearean little pervert.
Yeah, and his penguin is what nightmares are made out of. Just the way
so-
he looked. No one else could have given
It
that
looks
performance but
gross. It looks
him. Very
He is
gross.
like
literally
if
a
you touch him, you'll
sewer.
touch a cadaver, and like slimy.
Yeah.
Looks bloated.
Yeah, he...
Always coughing up black bile,
Oh, yeah, his teeth were just all, I don't know.
mangled with the and the
Yes.
flippers, hands.
But they
Yeah.
made, and then like him too, like he just made the role of him being so pathetic in the beginning. Like, you know, I'm just a sad little penguin
a little
baby
boy.
dumped.
He's a dark shadow of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne's
honestly.
parents loved him, and they died. And Penguin's parents hated him because he was a deformed baby, so they threw him into
A
the river.
sewer that led into a
Like,
sewer.
I assume they're very rich. There's probably easier ways to get rid of a baby.
Yeah.
Right. They're like, no, we need to dump this baby now.
Yeah, we need to do it ourselves. We're not going to
mean,
hire anybody.
Yeah.
If
Nobody can know
Gotham's
about this.
healthcare is as good as their police
And mental.
yeah, mental care, I'm pretty sure that was the only choice they had was down the
You
sewer.
know what? You have a point. I'm sure they're orphanages.
They're like, we're rich and we can't even afford it.
Yeah. Like, where would we take them? The orphanage burned down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Joker burned it down before he died. They have not rebuilt.
Danny DeVito was the perfect cast. I don't know who else you would cast as the penguin, especially this type of penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I could see conventional choices for, like, in the comics, he's just a mobster who runs a club and has a gang and does crime.
Yeah, there was actually a lot of people that were asked to play Penguin before Danny DeVito. And the first one that turned it down was Dustin Hoffman.
I guess any short guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess any short, balding, middle-aged man would have done.
Right.
I cannot imagine Dustin Hoffman with black bile in a weird,
Yeah.
overly padded
Or-
Victorian era pajama
I
suit.
know, right?
Yeah, or like any of the other ones. Like John Goodman, too, was another one that was thrown around a lot. And I could kind of see him because of like obvious, you know.
Well, he's
it's John
huge.
Goodman.
He's like,
yeah.
and especially at that time, he was at least over 300.
Yeah,
He was,
so
like,
could
in
you
the middle of
imagine like a
Roseanne.
tall penguin that was, you know,
I would
like
feel
a
bad for
larger
Batman
man?
if they fought.
Yeah, but still, like,
Michael Keaton
I
is
think it would
still-
make it more scary.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton's a short guy, so I think it would made more sense for Penguin to not be a physical threat to him.
Yeah.
So make him a short guy. Batman is really underwritten in the movie. He's only in the opening as Batman, and then he doesn't come into the movie as Bruce Wayne until another 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
And then his story is pretty much Selena Kyle centric, just them flirting and falling in love and trying to keep their identities secret.
I liked their relationship.
They had
more
good
in this
chemistry.
one. Yeah.
I think they dated before the movie.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that makes more sense as to why their chemistry would be like that.
But you said also her and Tim Burton, right? Or no?
I don't think they've ever been a thing.
Oh, never mind. I don't know what I'm thinking then.
Tim Burton was with Lisa Marie. She's the Martian girl in Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
And then he dumped her for HBC.
Oh, Helena Bonham Carter.
The real villain of the movie is Christopher Walken. He's like the 80s typical businessman behind
Max
the scenes, obsessed with his power plants and chemicals.
Yeah.
Very Mr. Burns-esque.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes more
that
sense.
is very
how
Mr.
he
Burns.
played it like that.
Yeah, I like
Actual
how
Max
he was
Shrek.
like in the ear of the penguin and then killing his own secretary and
Pulling the strings,
yeah.
trying to get the penguin into office,
Mm-hmm.
just so he has somebody he can control
Yeah.
and get his stuff.
Yeah,
I
Christopher
forgot he
Walken
is
as
running
Max
from
Shrek was terrifying as well.
Yeah,
Like-
he's not designed like a businessman.
Yeah,
he's designed like a
not.
weirdo German expressionist nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his
Like kind of
flowing
like
white
evil
hair.
scientist vibe.
Yeah, like Doc Brown turned bad.
I think just what made him so scary was how Tim Burton, I guess, like did the lighting also in the film. There's that scene where he's like looming over.
Oh yeah, and you see her shadow frames reflected on her, almost like a Catwoman mask.
Yeah, so it looked really, really good, but also scary.
It's all that.
It's a scary movie.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, that German expressionism. It's all like that, like the playing with the shadows and lighting and stuff like that. So that's why it looks so like eerie and creepy
And dreamlike.
Yeah.
With the miniature zoo and the camera flowing through it wildly. That looks so
or like
cool.
even through the cemetery and stuff.
So Christopher Walken was actually supposed to be Two-Face. The character Harvey Dent was supposed to fit this role.
I could have seen him more.
It was Billy
as
D.
a
Williams
Harvey
in the
Dent.
first one.
See it, but I don't feel like it would make sense because he's like the DA. Well, in the comics.
Well, as we
but-
all know, he turns bad. I think at the end of the movie, when Catwoman does her taser kiss to Mac, that was supposed to turn Harvey into Two-Face.
Oh.
It's not the classic he gets acid thrown on his face.
Yeah, that would be cool to see.
Yeah, that would have been a cool development. Do you think he would have played or like reprised his role of Tim
Billy
Burton?
D. Williams.
Yeah.
I think Warner Brothers just didn't want him. Maybe they didn't want a black Two-Face. I don't know if it was that regressive.
Yeah.
Maybe they just... Billy D. Williams was never been like a huge star.
Yeah.
Not in the way like Tommy Lee Jones eventually,
Yeah.
who played Two-Face, was. He did eventually get to play Two-Face, Billy D. Williams, in the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll talk about that one. Maybe we'll stick to live action.
Yeah.
So Batman doesn't get a lot to do because his subplot was mainly focused on Robin, who was cut out of the movie entirely. He was cast and the costume was fitted. It was going to be Marlon Wayans of Wayans Brothers fame.
I can't imagine that. I would have loved to see that though.
Yeah, because even then he was a comedy guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was only in... Was he in Requiem of a Dream?
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
And that was after this. So I think he was still mostly known for comedy.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean though. Like he does have a really good range. So I feel like even for a movie like this, you know, directed by Tim
It would've
Burton,
been cool to
I think
see.
he would have.
I think the one thing Tim Burton handles less well than women is black people.
Oh my god.
There's no black people in his movies.
That's very true. That's
Yeah.
very true.
He says
No people of color at
What's
all.
up with that,
Isn't
Tim
it because
Burton?
he says like that they don't fit his
Aesthetic.
which is really stupid and kind of, you know,
Let's not forget that Tim Burton is a boomer.
yeah.
No matter
So-
how much we love him in his
It's
early
so
work.
much potential lost because
Yeah.
of that. Because we could have had that Robin. That would have been cool, I think, to see.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would have been badass.
It would have
have
gave
that.
Batman, I think, a little more to do. But I guess,
Robin has never made sense to me.
Yeah.
Because Batman is the ultimate lonely guy.
Yeah.
And his mission is to stop crime and sacrifice his life if he needs to.
Yeah. If anything, I would see it more as like
It's his sole mission, and him recruiting small children
Yeah.
into his cult of superheroes
Then he
has never made much sense to me.
Yeah.
literally
Which is really what
slaps
it
on,
is.
It's the Bat Fam.
The Bat Fam. People love the Bat Fam, and I love the characters. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And I know we'll talk about this, but especially like for the Christopher Nolan ones, I think that concept of passing the torch. Yeah, that's more of how I would see it continue instead of
And that happens
Not
a
really
lot.
like
Yeah.
as a family, but more as like
A legacy.
yeah.
I guess I get it. He's helping poor tragic souls too in the process. It's kind of like Big Brother, Little Sister, Big Sister, Little Brother, whatever it's called.
It's the Batman Big Brother program.
You're right. You gotta kick ass to be in it.
So I think Danny Elfman's score, I don't think we mentioned it in the last episode, obviously it's fantastic. In the first
Love
movie and
Guys.
this one, I
Yeah.
think it's my
Yeah.
favorite score of his.
especially Susie and the Banshees. Like him, I think Danny Elfman and Susie, they both wrote Face to Face about Batman and Catwoman, which is really cool because like she gets to perform it like in the movie.
Mhm.
That's what I really liked
Yeah.
about the
Danny
soundtrack.
Elfman's been with Tim Burton since the beginning because Tim Burton was a big fan of Danny Elfman's band Oingo Boingo. And now he's one of the greatest composers
Yeah,
ever.
the best. I love Danny Elfman.
Tim Burton, again, has the problem I think he had in the first one where he focuses more on the villains than Batman.
Which I kind of liked, to be honest.
I feel like that Batman didn't have
Was-
much agency,
Yeah, it was more of like a background
just
character.
reactive.
Yeah. I liked that because it definitely highlighted the villains more. And when you really think about Batman Returns, for me, I think about the villains.
I think you think of the villains
Yeah.
until Nolan,
Yeah.
really. And even then, the Joker and Bane, great villains.
Yeah, but also Batman is like has a presence as big as theirs. So
I guess they just thought Bruce Wayne is a boring character because in this movie, in this movie especially, because Michael Keaton just plays him as the loneliest guy ever.
Yeah.
One of my favorite shots of any movie ever is when the bat signal is just shining on him and he's just sitting in his study all alone because he has nothing else in his life.
So dramatic.
Until he sees
it's so over the top and great.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Oh, somebody finally wants me."
Besides Alfred.
Yeah.
He's longingly waiting for it.
Bro, just go on a date.
Tinder wasn't a thing yet. Or Raya. Have y'all heard of Raya?
Yeah, it's that like celebrity dating app,
It's Celebrity Tinder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's like been a actor who has
Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah, like getting in trouble talking to underage girls?
Oh, no. No, we don't want to get sued by Affleck.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there was just one with him and a model, and she swiped left on him, and he was like, "Hey, it's me, Ben Affleck."
And now he's with J-Lo again.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah, it really does.
It all comes back to Batman. Yeah, I really love the dark fairy tale aspect of the movie, especially in the masquerade scene with them finally discovering each other's identities.
Yeah.
And them having the moral argument about killing Shrek. Not Mike Myers, but Max Shrek. Yeah, that's my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah, I'd have to say it's my favorite scene in the movie too, only because Susie and the Banshees is playing in the background, that song, and
that's the only
fits
reason.
perfectly as they're walking up, with one another. And also, aren't they the only ones that are not...
They don't have masks on because their true selves are Batman and Catwoman.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. It's like heavy-handed symbolism, but still.
Yeah, that's the over-the-top Tim Burton-ness I want.
Super dramatic.
Yeah, this one I think is still tonally confused because you have Danny DeVito as this like Shakespearean tragedy villain cast out like Moses and then trying to reclaim his roots.
Yeah.
But then you also have him as a perverted little freak.
Yeah, like behind the scenes. Oh, that's what makes him so scary to me. It's just how he could just easily flip back and forth. You're like, feels so bad for me to... Let me show you my French flipper.
Did you notice that he pulls the same trick, like with the campaign button that he pulls in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, with the waitress putting the dollar bill on her breast?
He's just
nudging it in there. I cannot separate
just
Danny DeVito
totally
from.
Popping a feel.
I cannot separate him from It's Always Sunny anymore.
Yeah.
Like I just want him to call people whores in everything.
In Batman Returns, wasn't she supposed to die? And didn't Tim Burton, didn't the studio not like that? And they had to, have her come back?
Well, it was reshot at the end with a stand-in because Michelle Pfeiffer wasn't available anymore. So they wanted to show, a little tease that Catwoman was still alive.
Yeah.
And they were actually going to do a spin-off. Tim Burton was going to direct it.
Oh, okay.
It was going to be about her going to, a superhero-controlled Las Vegas knockoff.
Ooh, that
Oh,
sounds
that's
cool.
right. Okay. They didn't end up doing that, did they?
Michelle Pfeiffer dropped out. Tim Burton dropped out. I think because this movie had, a very large backlash from parents and stuff. But eventually, Michelle Pfeiffer dropped out. Ashley Judd was going to do it. And eventually turned into the Catwoman movie that we all know and
Love today.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Wow,
Me too.
I've seen it and it's pretty good.
Yeah. I liked it, but watching it now, I'm like, who edited this?
Yeah. No, it's just
I've seen the basketball scene.
Yes.
A lot.
That's what I'm referring
I'm
to.
why
So
is
bad.
the sun setting all the time in this movie? But it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but good.
I'm going to say we can't talk about it because Batman's not in the title and I don't count it as part of the franchise.
No, that's fine. But it has Halle Berry in it. But
Yeah, I definitely know that.
yeah, but it's good.
For Michelle Pfeiffer, her character, she wasn't even originally supposed to be Catwoman, was she? I think it was someone else who was already casted.
Or they didn't want her. Right?
It was Annette Bening
Yeah,
who was
there you
cast
go.
at first, and she got pregnant. And then Sean Young, who was cast in the first Batman movie but had to drop out.
Yeah, because she got hurt, right?
Yeah, she fell off a horse or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was something like that.
Don't ride a horse if you're going to be in superhero movies.
Or just don't do anything dangerous.
Yeah,
You
I don't think you need to ride a horse.
Yeah, when people say get back on the horse, don't get on the horse in the first place.
Yeah, just stay down
Yeah.
on the ground.
Where you belong. So I really like the ending. I like the three characters interacting, Batman, Catwoman, and Shrek. And they're having their little monologues to each other.
Yeah.
Batman's trying to get Catwoman to live a normal life because he's always trying to stop being Batman in these movies.
Yeah.
And he could, but he
Very easily.
Very easily he could.
He doesn't seem
has
that attached to
Yeah.
stopping crime. He loves killing people.
I like the end though, because I think just them as actors and like being able to do like their own little monologues and stuff like that, like it worked. I liked it.
Yeah, I love it being so over the top with the Danny Elfman score
Yeah.
and Catwoman literally having 9 lives as she's getting shot,
Yeah.
and the taser kiss is so iconic.
Yes, it really is. I don't know. Just being an adult now, I appreciate that scene a lot more because of the actors.
I appreciate it more artistically than
Yeah.
like as a story. I was like, ooh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like if it was a painting, would love it.
Yeah.
As a story,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So parents revolted at this movie.
I would too.
I can understand why.
Horrible. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, if you're 4 years old and you're going into an action-packed Batman sequel,
Yeah.
Directed by Tim Burton of all people.
and you get this overly sexual movie about these freaks who dress like animals,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it might have created some furries today.
you know? Never thought about that.
She has a point.
Catwoman is a first crush for a lot of people. I
Yeah.
don't know if Dane DeVito's Penguin is.
You never know. Everyone has their,
was just
Somebody
so
has
ugly.
to be, their kink has to be just Penguin in Batman Returns.
Yeah.
There's 8 billion people in the world.
Somebody might want that French flipper. You never know.
Ugh. So yeah, because of that, McDonald's canceled the Happy Meal campaign.
Such potential.
Tim Burton got kicked off the sequel. We eventually will get to that.
It just gets worse from here.
We're
Yeah,
coming
it
for
doesn't-
you, Joel Schumacher.
Oof, poor guy. Big box office drop.
Yeah.
Even though it did have the highest opening weekend, the first one did too. It's weird. The first 3 Batman movies all set the opening weekend record. People love Batman.
They do.
Yeah.
It's such a story that's been told so much, but everybody's like, I need to go see it.
Yeah.
They're gonna have something new, and then you're like, oh, another white man not doing anything for the town of Gotham.
So final thoughts. This is my favorite Gotham design of any of the Batman movies. I love how noir and gothic it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
To
because I
look
feel
at.
like all the shots that would be cool ass art to just have.
Yeah.
Everything's so they put some time into it, and I mean they had a bigger budget, so they're like spend the expensivest shit.
Yeah, I read something like 90% of the sets on the Warner Brothers lots were just Gotham.
Damn, that sucks. But yeah, I could see that being possible.
Yeah, I just love Tim Burton, so I love even the Batman ones.
Yeah, I like the Tim Burton camp in this one more than the first Batman.
Yeah.
Like Batman versus Penguins is so funny to think about
It really is, but it fits.
with
It
the
just-
rocket launcher penguins.
I can't believe that they made that a thing. But yeah,
But overall, I love the movie.
yeah,
Yeah, it's my favorite of these 4 that we're going to talk about, this first real series of Batmans. I would have liked to see Tim Burton do a Batman 3.
I would have liked to see him too.
Probably would have done the Riddler. I think it would have been Robin Williams.
It would have been better too.
yeah.
Probably would have been better than what we got, even though it would have been, I don't know if it would have been more crazy or if I would want it to be more crazy. This one feels like just a perfect little time capsule
Yeah.
of when you
Yeah.
could get away with a movie like this.
Yeah.
It worked perfectly for it.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how a third one would have been. We don't live on that universe timeline, so.
Well, we kind of do. Michael Keaton's coming back
Oh, that's true.
as Batman in The Flash.
What?
I'm
Yeah.
excited for that one. That one seems like it's gonna be
Mine was
pretty
blown.
epic.
I'm excited for that too.
But once Disney did the whole multiverse stuff, now DC's like, okay, we got to do it.
Yeah, feels very copying each other's homework.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't care. I want to see it, so it doesn't matter.
I'm not too excited about a 75-year-old Batman being
Yeah.
Batman again.
I think it would just be interesting to see.
It definitely will be interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope you thought about Batman in a different light, or maybe you're like, oh, I agree.
No, I want them to think about Batman in a dark light.
Oh, true. Sorry.
It's
They have
definitely
very
something
dark
to check
thoughts.
out.
Have dark intentions, and don't do anything for your community, but at the same time, do dress up like a bat.
Make the wrong decisions to help people.
Yes.
So we can get an interesting movie out of it.
Yes. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this episode and listen to more. Like, share, tell everybody you know. And if you don't tell everybody you know, Batman will come for you.
Penguin will come and kidnap your firstborn child.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.